Welcome to the classroom schedule training for infants, toddlers, and twos. Training provided by Francis Ferguson and Sharon Haynes. My name is Sharon Haynes. I will be your presenter for today's training. Why do we need a schedule for infants, toddlers, and twos? Well, first, children need a schedule that is consistent and predictable. Second, predictability creates a sense of security and independence. Third, schedules and routines influence a child's social, emotional, and cognitive development. Lastly, predictable routines establish the teacher's expectations for the behavior of the children during those activities. What are the characteristics of a developmentally age-appropriate schedule? First, there is a balance between quiet and active periods of the day. Second, the schedule must be flexible and individualized to meet the needs of infants, toddlers, and twos. Third, there are opportunities for group and individual activities which are developmentally age-appropriate. Lastly, activities are planned to allow for significant time at a child-directed pace. The type of schedule that we use for infants, toddlers, and twos at my site is the Pictorial schedule. The Pictorial schedule is the recommended type for this age group. Why do we use the Pictorial schedule? Well, the visual cues allow for an easier transition between activities. Children can always refer back to the schedule to learn what activity comes next. An interactive pictorial schedule creates ownership of the day's experiences. This is an example of the pictorial schedule for infants, toddlers, and twos that is used at my program. To meet our program's requirements, first, the schedule must be placed at the eye level of the children. Second, it must have pictures of the current classroom children coupled with simple words to describe the activity. Lastly, the schedule must be created to read left to right. Our pictorial schedule must be divided into 3 schedules: a morning, midday, and afternoon schedule. Within each schedule, a routine of quiet and energetic activities are depicted. However, the schedule must allow for flexibility and individualism. Our schedule allows for infants to be fed and to sleep on demand, as well as visit the bathroom and be diapered as needed. Our morning schedule begins with the greeting of each child to the center. This important activity sets the tone for the entire day. The following routines must be reflected in this order: floor time, centers, potty and hand washing, breakfast, toothbrushing, diapering, and rest. Our midday schedule follows this routine: diapering, outdoor time, floor time and centers, potty and hand washing, lunch, toothbrushing, then rest. Our afternoon schedule consists of this routine: diapering, potty and hand washing, snack time, outdoor time, floor time and centers, then departure. In order to create ownership of the daily schedule, children must be able to interact with the routines and the activities. You may do this several different ways. In this example above, the child moves a star to correspond to the upcoming activity. Therefore, teachers must refer back to the schedule throughout the day in order for the interactive component to work effectively. There are many benefits for using a pictorial schedule for infants, toddlers, and twos. First, it allows you time to encourage and support independence and self-help skills. Second, it establishes security through routines. Third, it helps cultivate sequencing skills. Fourth, it sets the teacher's expectations for the day. Lastly, it allows the child to establish ownership of their day. Adapting your thinking to the flexible schedule helps you to accommodate individualized infants, toddlers, and twos. You may ask, how is that done? Well, infants would be allowed to sleep and eat on demand. Outdoor playtime will accommodate all ages safely. Infants can be placed on a blanket for tummy time, while toddlers and twos play actively on the playground. Group times are short and based on attention span allows for children to enter and exit based on interest. Lastly, meals and toothbrushing times will allow for support and encouragement for an increased independence. However, this schedule must always allow for individualized activities and flexibility. Information for this presentation was gathered from the Center on Social and Emotional Foundations for Early Learning. Images provided by Google Images. Thank you for participating in the classroom schedule training for infants, toddlers, and twos. We hope that you enjoyed today's training.